There are many kinds of business in the world, but most of them follow a simple structure of motivating their workers. There are three most popular theories of why people are motivated to work. They were all created by quite interesting people. And before we start, I would like to give a little biography on all of them. First, I will start off with Frederick Taylor. He was born in US on March 20th, 1856, and died on March 21st, 1915. He was an American mechanical engineer, and he was also a member of the efficiency movement. And he had big influence on people in the progressive era with his motivational theory, which we'll get to later. Next up, we got Abraham Maslow. He was born in 2 on April 1st, 1908, and died on June 8th, 1970. He was a psychologist who is best known for creating the hierarchy of needs, which is one of the theories of motivation that I will talk about in a minute. Last but not least is Frederick Herzberg. He was born on April 18th on 1923 and died on January 19th in the year of 2000. He was a psychologist and was known for creating something called the two-factor theory, which is similar to Maslow's theory of motivation, but slightly different. And now, onto the theories. The first theory was created by Frederick Taylor, which proves that people do not enjoy work, and they are only motivated by money. This theory is arguably the least popular among most communities, because simply said, not every worker does his job because he wants to earn a dollar. It could be for a good cause, or just to make the worker happy. Though some companies still follow this principle, like Ubisoft. It is a big gaming corporation which only motivates its worker with a good paycheck every month. The working conditions in most offices of Ubisoft are quite awful, and a lot of employees had to stay at work for almost 24/7 without leaving the office. The next theory has been created by Abraham Maslow, and it is called the hierarchy of needs. It is, as you can see, a graph that looks like a triangle with different sections, which are needs of a worker that should have for a perfect working environment. It is the physiological needs of a person, such as food, water, a shelter, and etc. Other sections above are also important, but are less necessary than the first one. A worker can do his job with only physiological needs, but it will be a poorly done job, compared to a worker whose esteem needs are accomplished, for example. And lastly, the two-factor theory. It proves that in a workplace, there are factors that motivate their workers, and there are factors that dismotivate their workers. So for example, goals and achievements count as good motivators, but something like a poor salary or bad working condition might affect the productivity of employees. But even something simple, such as a vending machine or microwave, can improve the productivity of staff members. This theory is quite similar to the hierarchy of needs, but it does not divide motivators and dismotivators into sections. Instead, it just puts them into two big groups. Whereas the previous theory separates everything to different parts. Some are more important than others.